Hello crafty friends, today I'm going to be creating a card for my niece who at the time of filming is about to leave home for university. So I wanted to give her a little present and a little card to send her on her way. I've got an A4 sheet of mixed media paper here because I needed something robust to work on as I'm using water. And as I often do, I started with smushing. I put some cracked pistachio distress oxide on my glass mat, spritzed it with water, picked it up with my smusher and smushed it all over my piece of paper. And I've chosen to work with greens today because my niece's favourite colour combination is green and gold, so it'll be green and gold. So once I'd got all my cracked pistachio down, I then did exactly the same thing with some evergreen bough distress oxide. And I just wanted to create a layered effect with the light green in the background and the dark green in the foreground. I didn't dry it before putting the second green on top because I didn't mind if it mixed and mingled, but once I'd finished with the dark green, I did dry it, used some paper towel to mop up excess ink and then gave it a really good dry because next I wanted to do some stenciling. The stencil I chose had a small diamond type pattern on it and I used evergreen bough again and blended it on in a few patches. This just adds some visual texture. It also adds to the sense of depth because the stenciling is sitting on top of the two smushed layers. After I'd added enough stenciling, I removed the washi tape and gave the whole thing a really good dusting with talcum powder because the next stage was heat embossing, and this is where the gold comes in. With this kind of mixed media background, my instinct is always to stamp and then heat emboss. But as I had my stencil folder out next to me, I thought I would use a stencil instead. And I picked this grungy letter number mishmash stencil because it kind of gives me studying vibes, I think. And this is a card, as I said, for my niece who's leaving for university. Again, I spread this around in patches using embossing ink and a blending brush. And then I sprinkled on some rich gold embossing powder from Wow and heated that with my heat tool. And just to bring everything together and to bring in even more gold, I spattered on some gold metallic paint. After drying everything with my hairdryer, I took a large stitched rectangle die and washi taped it to my background, ran it through my die cutting machine and cut out a panel for the front of my card. I then took a piece of A4 linen textured white cardstock, scored it down the middle, folded it in half to create a card blank, and then used tape runner to stick my panel to the front of the card. The card blank was slightly too tall for what I wanted, so I just trimmed off the bottom. I ummed and ahed about what sentiment to put on the front of the card. In the end, I settled on "You Got This," and I chose some fairly big outline dies to cut the letters out of matte gold cardstock. I then took a ruler and measured the centre of my card and used that to help me position the centre letter, the O. To stick down my letters, I'm just using high-tack white glue and my glue dotter. Once I'd stuck down the O, I added the G and the T, and that gave me a kind of guideline for where to put the rest of the words. For the other words, I took some masking tape and stuck the letters onto it, lining up the bottom of the letters with the bottom of the masking tape. I then used my glue dotter to add glue to the back of the letters and then stuck it on the front of the card. This is just a quick and easy way of getting things lined up properly. Having said that, I do think there's a slight wonk with the bottom word, the this, but it's barely noticeable. Once I'd got the this stuck down, I then stuck down the U, and that was this card finished. I did give this card to my niece and she thought it was really pretty, so that's a thumbs up. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope this card has given you a few ideas. If it has, do let me know in the comments, leave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, please subscribe and ring the notification bell, and I'll see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.